All right, guys, it is the final college basketball best bets video of the year. Well, until the winter or late fall. We've got 2 more college basketball games after today. We've got the Crown Tournament Championship tomorrow and the NCAA Tournament Championship game, obviously the National Championship game on Monday. I'll probably make videos for both of those games. Maybe not the Crown. If you want to see the Crown Championship prediction, let me know. If not, I'm just going to go through all 3 scenarios right now. And obviously the National Championship game will get its own video. If you want to see a Crown video, I can talk about some player props. I will go over it tomorrow if you guys want to see it, so let me know in the comment section down below. But this is the final best bets video of the year. So before we get into it real quickly, I just want to thank you guys for the support that we've seen all year long. This has been the best thing that's gone on my channel for the last couple months, so I want to thank you guys so much for the support every single day on this. Whether it's been, negative or positive, it doesn't matter. Again, I truly appreciate you guys for watching this every single day. This is by far the most fun I've ever had watching college basketball because of these videos too, so I want to thank you guys for that. Okay, we've got 4 games to go over today, and again, we are going to have our daily NBA predictions continuing all the way through the playoffs, and our daily MLB best bets is going to take over for us every single day, well, until the season's over. And then, of course, we're going to have college football predictions and best bets this year starting in, August? So make sure to join us for that. Okay, and also UFC today too. Josh Emmett, Leon Murphy in the main event. Greedo plays MMA, link in the description down below. He went 8 for 8 on PFL earlier this week. Anyways, let's get on the first of our 4 games today. We've got Boise State taking on Nebraska in the T-Mobile Arena here for the Crown. So they go from the MGM to T-Mobile. Now, okay, I watched a bunch of the Crown games, and there was nobody there. So are they going to really sell out T-Mobile? I'm looking at the tickets right now. Nope, this is going to be empty. Wow, this is sad. Anyways, Boise State, Nebraska. I like Boise. Personally, what I'm going to do today, myself, and again, I will recommend spreads or whatnot. I mean, all the spreads are somewhat close. I'm going to parlay the 2 winners I have for the Crown with the 2 winners of the final 4 games. That's what I'm going to do. Well, sorry. I'm going to parlay the 2 winners I get for the Crown and then also parlay the 2 winners of the final 4. So 2 separate parlays, just straight money lines. Our first game, I'm taking Boise State. This was the team that I said at the very beginning of this tournament that was going to get to the spot, right? I said them and Villanova were going to be my 2 teams that I'm picking to go to the Crown Championship game. Now, our NIT prediction of UC Irvine was very close. If they could hit a free throw, they would have won the NIT. Anyways, ridiculous. I think Boise's going to get to that spot, right? This team has looked really good in this tournament. They're 2 games so far, beating George Washington. That was an obliteration. And then on Wednesday, they got right through the Butler Bulldogs, winning that game 100-93. And it wasn't Tyson Degenhart leading them scoring that game. It was Javon Buchanan, who's more than capable. He's a 10-point per game scorer this season, but Buchanan with 27 in that game against Butler was great. And now they get Nebraska. This team has so many guys that can hurt you. Tyson Degenhart. Cardenas hasn't had his best tournament, but he's been good. Andrew Meadow. We just saw Javon Buchanan go off. For Nebraska, I still feel like they're so dependent on Bryce Williams, it's insane. Right? You look at the 2 games they've played in this tournament and how we can date back to their Ohio State double overtime loss where Bryce Williams scores 43 points. We look at their 2 games in the Crown so far this season. Yeah, they win, right? They beat Arizona State, they beat Georgetown, but Bryce Williams in those games, 30 points over the Sun Devils and 28 against the Hoyas. That's what Nebraska needs to win, but ultimately against Boise, he's going to need to score 40. I'm not joking. Because Boise, they're not... okay, I like Georgetown a lot. But guys, Georgetown was without their top 3 players. PV, Sorber, and Epps all weren't playing. And sure, again, Malik Mack had one hell of a tournament, but that's still an under 500 team in Georgetown. Arizona State was 13-19 this season. So I feel like Nebraska's run to the spot's a little padded. And sure, you can say, oh, Boise beat George Washington and Butler. That's true. I saw this team beat New Mexico in the Mountain West tournament. It's a good team. Tyson Degenhart's a really good basketball player. And Boise State, again, is more than just their star player. They're more than just Degenhart. Nebraska is just Bryce Williams. Sure, Juwan Gary's going to have his nights, but Bryce Williams is the guy and really the only guy who can effectively and really efficiently score in this team, or at least on a consistent basis. I don't trust anybody else on Nebraska. They're not the team that they were last year. We've been over this a million times with the Cornhuskers this year when they were a 9 seed in the tournament or 8 seed in the tournament last season with Keisei Tominaga. They're just not the same squad. They don't have anything around Bryce Williams. Sure, they look good in their first 2 games, but that's because of Williams. And I'll expect Williams to score another 30 tonight, but he's going to need to score 40 plus in this game. And even then, I don't know if they can beat Boise. because Boise is going to be putting pressure in their face the entire game because they are going to score. Hell, guys, that George Washington game that Boise lost, they scored 3 points in the first 8 minutes, and they still went on to score 90 points. And they obviously scored triple digits. They scored 100 in the Butler game. So I really don't see this team losing. I see Tyson Dejanard having a big night. Maybe Javon Buchanan goes crazy as well. Cardenas, of course, manning the offense at point. This is a really good Boise team, and I'm sticking with my original prediction in the Crown, just like how we kind of stuck with our original prediction in the NIT. Hopefully this one goes better than the other one did, but I'm taking Boise State to go to the Crown championship game. I think they beat Nebraska. I think we need to state again, guys, Nebraska was a piss poor team at the end of the season in the Big Ten. Just because you win 2 games over Arizona State and Georgetown does not make you a good squad. I'm taking the Boise State Broncos to advance to the CBC championship game, where they will take on the winner of our next game, which we are picking right now, between the Central Florida Knights and the Villanova Wildcats. Again, I'm sticking with my original prediction. Give me Nova and Boise. Taking Villanova here. And again, I said originally Boise was going to win the entire thing. I'm kind of on the fence about that now. I don't know. And I'll go over all my scenarios in a little bit. Again, my prediction might change for the actual championship game tomorrow after watching these two play on Saturday. So again, that's if you want to see the college basketball crown prediction video tomorrow for the championship game, let me know. But the way I'm seeing things right now, I think Villanova wins the entire thing. Just because, guys, this is a hungry team in this tournament, and I know they played USC very tough. I understand, and USC played this team a lot tougher than they should have played them. I think they make light work. I think they make light work of UCF. I think they do. I think the USC game was a wake-up call. I think Villanova has been expected to go far and do well in this tournament because of the guys who are playing, because Eric Dixon's playing, because Wuga's playing, because Longino's playing. I mean, again, Eric Dixon was one of the leading scorers, if not the leading scorer in all of college basketball this season. He averaged 23 points a game, right? I mean, these guys are all seniors. It's their last hurrah. It's their final ride. Yeah, they're going to go far in this tournament. Sure. And they're taking on a UCF team that Keyshawn Hall has obviously transferred out of. So it's a UCF squad that's relying on other guys to score. Darius Johnson went crazy in their last game, right? Johnson's been a big-time scorer for them all season long, don't get me wrong. He hasn't been doing what Keyshawn Hall's been doing, but Darius Johnson can give you 30 points, and that's what he did in their Cincy victory. But again, and we had UCF in that game. We had them as plus 230-ish dogs, plus 180-ish dogs. We did have the Knights. At the same time, guys, and I've joked about it all year long, and I said it again when we made that prediction between them and Cincinnati. I've been hate watching the Bearcats all year long. I've been saying the entire season they're not good. And yeah, UCF beat them like we expected them to. But in a game like this, yeah, they're going to miss Keyshawn Hall. Because you know who's not going to be on Keyshawn Hall? Eric Dixon. The better players are on Nova, and I really don't think it's that close. I know they played USC really tough. Eric Dixon had 28 points. The rest of the team around him didn't really step up in that game, but that's okay. It's win in advance. And they didn't cover, sure. I think they do cover this time around. UCF's 2 games, they barely got by Oregon State, a very close one where they beat the Beavs, and the Cincinnati victory, they beat them by 8. Great. Villanova's much better, guys. They just are. They've got too many guys who can hurt you, and I don't think they have back-to-back duds offensively. And sure, it was just an overall very low-scoring affair against USC, and sure, Eric Dixon takes 24 shots in that game. He hits 10 en route, obviously, to their victory in the 28 points. I mean, Jordan Longino didn't score. He went 0 for 3 from beyond the arc and 0 for 6 from the field. Wuga Poplar went 5 for 16, had 16 points. I mean, I just don't expect that poor of an offensive game again out of Villanova. I just don't. And for UCF, I mean, is just Darius Johnson really sustainable for this team? I know how good that guy is. He can really shoot the 3 ball. Went 5 for 13 in their last game, but 11 for 23 from the field. I understand that. You know, Tyler Hendricks isn't bad. He had a pretty good first game in this tournament where they played, where UCF got the victory over, I'm blanking, I said it earlier, Oregon State. He had 15 and 10. But Jordan Ivy Curry has been a non-factor off the bench, played 26 minutes in their last game against Cincinnati. He's actually been really bad in the tourney. Guys, Ivy Curry plays 26 minutes against the Bearcats. Goes 1 for 8 from the field, 7 points. He got 5 of those points at the free throw line. I'm not sold on Central Florida at all. They beat a bad Cincinnati team, in my opinion. I think Villanova has actually had the tougher pathway to get to this point. Now, I don't really rate the Colorado victory. I mean, we told you that Colorado-Villanova is not particularly close. We told you that was a blowout, and that's exactly what that game was. Don't know why the hell the line was 5.5. I told you they're going to win by double digits, and they won by 21. But anyways, the USC game, close one, but again, that's a Big Ten squad that has shown potential at times of the season. And I get it, UCF's look good too, but Keyshawn Hall is not playing. Eric Dixon's going to take over this basketball game. Sure, he might take 30 shots, but he's going to score 30. He's going to score 30 points. I'm perfectly fine with the Villanova Wildcats, and we are going to our original pick here in the Crown Tournament, Nova Boise State. It's what we said at the very beginning, and I think we get it. So I will go over all the scenarios real quickly. Nova, Boise, I'm taking Nova right now. Yes, I know I've been hyping up Boise a lot. I think in a must-win or a championship game, I'm taking the experience of Eric Dixon and Villanova. Okay, Boise versus UCF, I'm going Boise. UCF versus Nebraska, I'm going to go Nebraska, because if Nebraska actually gets there, yeah, I'm expecting Bryce Williams to take over that game against Central Florida. Nova, Nebraska, that's the easiest lay in all of this. It would be Nova to destroy Nebraska. Bryce Williams won't take them that far. I don't believe so. So anyways, that's how I see things going. I don't think UCF's the worst. They might be the worst team right now. I just think matchup-wise, if they did get Nebraska in the championship game, yeah, I think the Huskers get them. Anyways, let's move on to the Final Four as we start things off again in the Alamo Dome. SEC versus SEC, Florida, Auburn. Give me the Gators. I'm taking Florida. -2.5. Yeah, I think that hits. The come-from-behind victory over Texas Tech was very, it showed a lot out of Florida is what I'm looking for here, right? Come from behind victory. Walter Clayton is everything that he has been said to be in this tournament. I've been praising Walter Clayton this entire tournament, and he scores 30 points in that Elite Eight game against Texas Tech. The guy's an amazing shooter. Didn't have his best night from the three-point line, but when it mattered, yes, Walter Clayton stepped up. He's great. Walter Clayton is an amazing basketball player for Florida. This team's had a really good run at this point, right? The Norfolk State win in the first one, close outing in the second round, but they take down the reigning defending back-to-back champs in UConn and Dan Hurley. They beat the Crab Five in Maryland, a team that I thought was very good, but they get by it by 16 points. And then, right, they get past Texas Tech. You look at the Auburn Tigers, the number 1 overall seed at one point this year. They beat Alabama State. They then beat Creighton. They get past Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden in Michigan in the game that they were trailing at one point in the second half, and they get by Michigan State in the Elite Eight. Here come the Tigers, obviously, with John I. Broome, who has been the best player in college basketball this season. He was the only player in their starting lineup last game who eclipsed the double-digit mark. Broome had 25, Cardwell had 5, Chad Baker-Mazara had 6, Denver Jones had 8, Miles Kelly had 8. The only other 10-plus scorer was Todd Pettiford, who played 27 minutes off the bench and scored 10 points. This is the most experienced team in college basketball. They're the oldest team in college basketball. Their starting lineup average age is 24, if I'm not mistaken, give or take. It is 24 years of age. That's a lot, but it's fine. It's within the rules of college basketball now. That's exactly what the Auburn Tigers are. They're great. These two teams have met up in the regular season, obviously, with both of them being Southeastern Conference teams. The first matchup was won by Florida in Auburn. They won it. And this is the second matchup. Obviously, they only played once in the regular season. And again, once at Auburn, Florida went there and picked up the victory. I'm taking Florida. I think they're better than Auburn. I feel like Auburn... And it's not a bad thing because John I. Broome is so great. But I think they're so dependent on him. And I think Florida, they can beat you in so many more different ways. And sure, again, everyone around John I. Broome will score their points, right? Mazzara scored 6, which isn't a lot for him. He went 2 for 10, 2 for 8 from the three-point line in that game, right? Todd Pettiford will give you 10, right? I understand that. But they are so, based around John I. Broome in the post. He's going to make his move, hook shot, right? I mean, he'll take the 3 every once in a while. He'll settle for the mid-range, fader, right? I mean, again, John I. Broome is great. I completely understand that. He is amazing. But I feel like Florida's got way too many more ways that can hurt you. With Walter Clayton's 3-ball and just the 3-ball all around. I know, again, they will have their cold nights, and they went 9 for 24 from beyond the arc in the Texas Tech game. But when they needed to come back and when they needed to make a run, they did, right? Thomas Haw off the bench, 30 points, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc that game. They have the shooting ability. Condon as well. I mean, again, just a very solid player. Elijah Martin had a horrendous game against Texas Tech. 3 for 10 from the field, 0 for 4 from beyond the arc, 10 points in 36 minutes. I would think Elijah Martin's going to have a better game this time around. I just think Florida's the better team. They beat Auburn once in the regular season. They went on the road and beat them by 9 points. Who's to say they're not going to do it again in the Alamo Dome on a neutral site? I think Walter Clayton takes over this basketball game. I think he hits the big shots when needed. I know we don't want to entirely talk about this, but he's great at getting to the free throw line. He just is. And in big time games, you need to get your points at the line. Walter Clayton in the Elite Eight against Texas Tech went 13 for 14 at the free throw line. You know, I mean, he gets his points there. And obviously the big threes he had at the end of the game got Florida to this point. He's a clutch time player. Florida right now looks like one of the best teams in college basketball. Hell, we're down to the Final Four, so they gotta be. But I think Walter Clayton shows up, and I think the guys around him shoot well as well. And for Auburn, I just think they're too low scoring for Florida right now. I know Auburn has had games this season where they have scored 100, right? You look at the Alabama game, you look at the Ole Miss game, right? Where at least they've got into the 90s. I get that. In this tournament, they've been too low scoring for my liking, and I get it. They've been scoring, low sevens. I just think Florida's going to drop 90 on them tonight, and I just don't think Auburn's going to be able to keep up. That's how well Florida's playing. I think they're going to outpace the Tigers tonight, and we're taking the Florida Gators to go to the national championship game to take on the winner of our next one, Houston and Duke. I'm taking Duke. I know, again, we took all favorites in this video, but I feel like it's the smartest thing to do. And it is kind of fitting the way this college basketball season has been going. Hell, it's the first time since 2008 where there are 4 number ones in the Final Four. And blame that on NIL if you want. It is very true. Let's just be honest. It's not going to always be like this. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be 4 number ones next season. But I think the best team right now in college basketball is the Duke Blue Devils, with the best player in college basketball, Cooper Flag. I mean, can we bet against this guy? I'm serious. Cooper Flag is undoubtedly the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, and he's by far the best all-around player in college basketball this season. I had my doubts at the beginning of the year, I did, especially in the Kansas game where he didn't really have a good night. They lost it on a neutral site, and from there I was kind of on Cooper Flag, but watching him in ACC play, and then another big question was, okay, Duke's been good in the regular season against ACC schools. What happens when they play non-ACC schools? Well, again, they got that game against Illinois at the Garden, I believe it was, and they beat them by 50 points. In this tournament, they beat Baylor by 30. They beat Arizona by 7, and they shut down Bama and beat them by 20 points, which is so hard to do. I think something that gets understated a lot about Duke is their defense. Again, we just witnessed Alabama have an all-time game shooting against Brigham Young the game before, and they scored 65 points against Duke in the Elite Eight. Yeah, this team's that good defensively. And the thing is, guys, for as great as Cooper Flag is, and for as good as an all-around player that he has only led them in scoring once in this tournament, which is something. And I'll get to Houston in a minute. I think Houston's good. I just don't think they're on this level. Tyrese Proctor has been here, done that. He's a factor. Knupel scores 21 in the win over Bama. Come on, Malich, their center, 14 points in that game. He is a unit underneath the hoop. They've got so many guys in the starting lineup. Again, it's just really the starting lineup and maybe Caleb Foster off the bench. But this is the best starting 5 in all of college basketball. You can talk about Auburn and their experience. You can talk about Florida and the many ways they can hurt you. And Houston as well is a very good defensive basketball team. I just don't know how they're going to score on Duke. And I know Duke can score against Houston. For as good as Houston is defensively, I don't think they're able to limit Alabama. Houston looked great in their first game. I mean, how they stopped Tennessee. They limited Tennessee to 15 points in the first half. It's crazy. That's a team with Zakai Ziegler, Chaz Lanier. Lanier goes 4 for 18 from the field in that game. Zakai Ziegler went 1 for 9, which is crazy. Yeah, Houston's great defensively. LJ Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp. I mean, again, it's bringing a tear to my eye, because of, Jamal Shead and the pace that he set last season, the defensive presence the captain last year for Houston had. I mean, again, I loved watching Jamal Shead play basketball in college last year, and obviously with the Raptors now, but And Jawan Roberts, too. I mean, he can hoop. He got into foul trouble in the Tennessee game. Didn't matter. They have so many guys. Milos Uzan can hurt you. He led them in scoring one of the earlier games in the tournament. But, man, it's such a challenge against Duke. Houston's got a great starting lineup. They're 5 very capable players with Cryer, with Sharp, with Uzan, with Roberts, with Tugler. I mean, they're really good. But, man, when you look at Duke and you look at Flagg and you look at Proctor and you look at Malich, I don't know how they beat this team. And honestly, we'll make our championship game prediction on Monday morning. But the way I'm looking at this right now, guys, I don't know how anyone gets past Duke. I'm just going to be honest. They're that good this season. And they have the best player in college basketball. It's not like he just scores. He's defensively great. He can play make, and he's really good on the glass as well. Like, and the guy averaged 19, 8, and 4 this year. There's a reason. He is the undisputed #1 pick, and one of the biggest deals to come out of college since Zion, probably the biggest deal to come out of college since Zion Williamson, right? There's a reason for that. He's that legit. And on top of that, he is playing with the best supporting cast in all of college basketball a star player can ask for. So yeah, to me, it does feel like a no-brainer Duke wins this game. Yes, Houston's great defensively, but you're playing the Duke Blue Devils with Cooper Flagg, with Tyrese Proctor. I don't see it happening. I don't think Houston shuts them down. At the same time, Duke's defense arguably is underrated. I get it, Arizona scored 93 points, but that's just one of those Caleb Love games where he goes off. Limiting and holding Bama to 65 is insane. It just is. With the way that Sears, Nelson, and that team plays, that is very difficult to do. It shows you how great the Duke Blue Devils have been this season and still are, and I think they shut down Houston. LJ Cryer will have his nights, but at the same time, kind of like Caleb Love, LJ Cryer will have games where he just goes cold. He just will. He went 6 for 17 from the field in the Tennessee game, which, again, was enough for 17 points to lead them in scoring, but that was a defensive game. I don't know how defensive you can be against Duke. You can limit them, but can you hold them? I don't think so. I'm taking the Duke Blue Devils to move on to the national championship game. I have Duke and Florida. I think they're the 2 best teams right now in all of college basketball, and that's the game I want to see. It's the game I think we're going to see on Monday night. So we'll be back on Monday for our national championship game prediction between the Duke Blue Devils and the Florida Gators. If you want to see the Crown Championship game prediction tomorrow, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but if you want to see it, let me know. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Again, one more time, I want to thank you guys for all the support all year long with the college basketball best bets. We're not done just yet, though. We've got a national championship game to predict on Monday morning. So, folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And Mamba forever.